Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson! Megatron is on the show. I woke up to news that Orlando Brown Jr. is a Bengal. Offensive line, a point of strength in Cincinnati. Now I've seen it all. We are going to have a fun show. Calvin Johnson joining the Hall of Famer Calvin Johnson, who could have played baseball, might have played in the NBA as well. He was at the NBA All-Star Game in Utah a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to ask him about DK Metcalf. I'm going to ask him about D-Hop. I'm going to ask him maybe what the Lions should do and bring in, and we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to bring in Marissa and Hamilton here for a minute because I'm doing these few shows from home because, guys, we're having a renovation there in studio. Marissa, of course, is our last show of the week. We have Summer Fridays here on the Up and Adam show. So, we're all wearing green in support of Marissa. That is the kind of pull and swing one segment producer can have on our program. You picked a Shamrock background. Mm-hmm. Can I ask you both? What is this? Conrad drops this off at my house. I wasn't home. I looked outside my house. I had text from Conrad that said, where should I put this? Where can I put this so it doesn't get rained on? Because we live in Seattle, California. And so he wrapped it in this cutie named Conrad.
Great job, Conrad.
I'm going to open what do I need this for today's show?
Yes, you do.
Apparently.
There's some Irish props in there. I want to let you.
What is this?
Do a show and tell. That's Calvin Johnson's new primitive performance.
Okay, oral rehydration solution and topical cream. So this is the collab that he's got. It's a Michigan-based cannabis company. Am I eating this? No, this is not for. No, it's for consumption.
Topical means you put it on your skin.
Fast acting. Hey, we could get this party started right now. I'm excited. It's between him and his and a former NFL player, Rob Sims, I do believe. So I'm excited to talk to him about that. Let's see what's in this.
What's in Kay's bag? Part 2.
What's in Kay's Go Puff bag? We should get a Go Puff. I use Go Puff all the time. Okay, stop. We've got. This is edible for sure. Nutrition facts.
Oh yeah, that's
for
the
drinks,
powder, right? Yeah. That looks
now we've
good.
got topical cream. Mm-hmm. It's quite pungent. My goodness. Electrolyte solutions. This sounds great. I'm so excited. Thank you, Primitive, for saying this to me. So we're going to get into that with Calvin Johnson.
Excited to have Calvin on.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a quick Calvin story?
Yeah.
Tell you what a great guy he is. So. For those who don't know, I was a scouting intern for the Lions back in 2013 when Calvin was there. And I was in line at the cafeteria. They always had these incredible cookies, and there was a cookie warmer. You heat them up, it melts the chocolate chips. It was amazing. So I'm behind Calvin in line, and there's one chocolate chip cookie left. And he turns around, and he offers it to me. It's like, hey, there's only one left. Do you want it? I was like, there is no way in hell as an intern I'm taking Calvin Johnson's chocolate chip cookie from him. Like, I'll be out the door, My key card is not going to work the next day if I try something like that. Yeah. So I was like, no, Calvin, you have it. But it just goes to show what a great guy he is. He's going to, offer me the cookie.
What a man.
He is a great
guy. What star
guy.
players are going to be doing that?
None of them. One of the best players in the NFL. So we'll talk to him. And I'm curious to ask him about Aaron Rodgers, too, because that's all going on, that trade. And nothing official yet, but we know what's going on on the show. So you sent me Smittix.
Absolutely.
Smittix. And this is, what can I just tell you? As you can imagine, I mean, by the way, it's not cold, so that's not going to be fun. We have Sam Monson on the show. That can only mean one thing, that we're going to get PFF'd up with him. I used to work at, Nick's Irish Pub, and I would make $2,000. I worked all day from literally 5 in the morning till 5 in the morning. But I would make I would clean shop. It was amazing, and it was so hard. But it was my favorite day of the year, working at Nick's Pub in Dogtown, St. Louis. And if anybody knows St. Louis, it's a very Irish neighborhood. It's insanity from really early in the morning. But in general, I worked at this Irish pub, and people would come and and you can imagine me in a power position as a 20-something-year-old. As a 20-something-year-old girl, it was the most power one could wield was bartending
Absolutely.
at a bar in St. Louis, because you can just tell everybody, like, go, like, what do you want? You want like 3 whatever, like 3 lemon drops and 2 cherry bombs. Here's 4 shots of, and I would use like, here's 4 shots of Rumplemints. That's $25. That's what I would do. Like, I was like that.
Hey,
so people would order this beer, and they'd come up to, we had it on draft. And it was, we had a lot of different beers.
Yeah.
And it's called Smittix. But people would like be like, could I have a, and they try to be like cool, like, you know, they want a Bud Light, but they're like, I'll have a Smithwick's. And I'm like,
Disrespect.
and I would just roll my eyes. But I would just, you know, like, there's no reason for me to make them feel bad. They don't know. I might be pronouncing it wrong too, but I know it's not Smithwick's, but I would just make them be like, oh, I'm not going to get a tip off of this novice, this like amateur
Actually, it's
at the
Smittix.
old Irish pub. Yeah. Okay. So then there's this. You guys got me presents. Oh, wow.
I had to. Little Bailey's, little JMO.
We got
Why not?
we got
speaking
CBD,
of
beer, and
2010.
liquor. This is going to be a heck of a day.
This is an awesome Thursday. 2 thumbs up.
I'm gonna not wear this until Sam Monson says it's okay, because I feel like he's probably got a take on this.
I
and
have
he's
one in my purse,
Truly
too.
Irish.
Yeah.
Oh, really? We think he's in Ireland, basically, the whole time he's been on this show. So he's the, you know, him and Marissa make all of those decisions. Marissa, did you happen to, did you watch Ted Lasso?
Yes, I did. I watched the first episode. It was so good. Did you watch?
I did, but I kind of felt like, I don't know, I wasn't that impressed with it.
I was sad they didn't set up the Roy and Keely. Wait, is this a spoiler-free zone? Am I allowed to say this?
I haven't seen it yet.
I don't know, it's a great question.
Okay.
I don't care. Everybody ruins things for oh, Connor's telling me to move it on.
The Roy and Keely situation.
I
they didn't
thought-
set up. That's what I'll say.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was like weirdly acted though. Like I thought it didn't. It's not like there's a little rust or something, but there's like it's not as smooth or something. Don't put this on the internet, Ted Lasso.
Oh, boy.
I love you.
I feel like we're not used
Hey,
to
why
like
do you-
Ted Lasso. You know, like how we were watching it like mid-season. I feel like
Maybe.
once we get back into that groove, I feel like we'll be in there. It's gonna be a good season.
And everything and just the Nate thing. Like I don't believe he's bad. Like he doesn't seem like a bad
can't-
character to me. Like I know. I just can't I can't get with it. Hamilton, why are you dressed like Channing Tatum?
I am. I put on some green for St. Patrick's Day.
That
What
is
is
like
Channing Tatum
that's
about this?
beige at most. I don't know if that's green.
No, it's green. I don't know if the lighting is doing this justice right now, but it's green. I can promise you.
You look like hold on. What's that movie? You look like any movie that's like, you look like somebody in, you know, an extra in Black Hawk Down. That's what you look like.
This is the precursor. Is this green? Part 1.
Is this green?
Yes,
Yes.
okay.
We will be
So we've
playing
got
Is This Green with
Jameson.
Sam Monson later.
We've got Bailey's, we've got Hamilton, we've got Marissa. Do we have Aaron Rodgers to the Jets? I don't know. We're doing all this green. Aaron, this is just green manifesting. We've got plant-based psychedelic-y things. Not that these aren't psychedelics, but we've got, I shouldn't say that. You know, we got all sorts of things. We'll say bye to Marissa. We'll say bye to Josh Hartnett in Black Hawk Down. We'll talk to him down the stretch. But here's what's going on. We do have Megatron on the show, so we're very excited about that. By the way, there's some really exciting things going on at FanDuel Sportsbook. If you're into the March Madness stuff, if you're looking ahead at other sports and things going on, I was popping my head. Darius Butler crushes it with these parlays that he's doing, NBA style. So go check out everything going on over at FanDuel Sportsbook that yesterday had. Let me just tell you, yesterday they had, and I tweeted this, and people were all over the place, the Jets as the 4th best team in the AFC. 4th best team in the AFC. Behind, obviously, Buffalo, behind the Chiefs, behind the Bengals. They're better than Miami. They're better than... It's very interesting. The Jags, I think, are an interesting choice if you're hanging out over at FanDuel Sportsbook. But while we are still looking at trades and we're waiting for it to happen between the Jets and the Packers, we did, my friends, get an important answer from the man himself yesterday on Pat McAfee, saying that he does want to be a New York Jet. He said he made that decision last Friday, and that the holdup has been in the negotiations between the two teams as they try to reach an agreement on compensation. And both teams have leverage, and so does Aaron Rodgers. So it's very interesting. Hopefully it's just a matter of time before they iron it out, and hopefully it happens sooner than later. And then, we'll see those two guys sharing a quarterback room, which would be nice. Now, the more I think about it, the more I wonder, is the complication when it comes to this deal actually being revolve around how unique and different the situation is? I don't think I've ever seen a trade unfold this publicly over the course of the past 2 weeks. The Packers have made it very clear they are ready to move on from Aaron, and the Jets are, as we know, by not knowing anything else, that the Jets are the only legit suitor. So that means New York holds lots of the leverage here, pretty much all of it. They know he's coming. So from their perspective, if you're the Jets, why would you give up anything more than you have to? And on the Packers side, you're not just wanting your Hall of Fame, still Hall of Fame caliber, high-level playing, franchise 20-year quarterback walk out the door without a decent return, especially after seeing Russell Wilson go for 2 first-rounders last year. I think that's very much a part of this. So it makes sense that this is taking significant time and that there's a bit of a, I don't know that wiggling is happening. That's not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing it's a little, and it's happening in the public. And, I think people can stop blaming Aaron after what we heard yesterday as the reason the trade isn't happening. He's not extending it. He's not holding it up. He's not doing that. Aaron wants to go to New York. Aaron wants to be with Gossip Girl on the Upper East Side, dating the whole invite list to the Met Gala. That's what Aaron wants. And he's got Lazard, and we'll see what other guys he gets off his wish list. Megatron's on the show. I can't wait to get his opinion on that. Megatron has said that he would like to play with Aaron Rodgers, so we'll get what he makes of this whole situation. And listen, Jets fans can start, thanking the darkness. That's what I would do. Aaron revealed to McAfee yesterday he was leaning 90% towards retirement when he went into that darkness retreat in that cave situation. So we never fully will know maybe what revelations he's had over the course of the 4 days unless he decides to do a podcast with me, which I'm, of course, pushing. But whatever happened, it obviously had a significant impact on his perception and what he wants for his life, at least for this next year or two. So Rodgers dominated the headlines again yesterday. He was on McAfee. Excellent job by him. He took us back to 2020. Pat McAfee sat down oh, we're doing this. We're going to go back to this. And so we love hearing his perspective, and then he makes that available to us. It's something he doesn't have to do, so we appreciate that. There's other free agency news that we have to get to as well. We are 12 minutes in the show, so let's get into some of this. And the big news here is that I went to sleep and I woke up with this crazy Cincinnati news. Big shocker. I'm legit stunned. I didn't see it. Tom Pelissero, know you, love ya. Breaking the news. The Bengals have reached a deal with the highly coveted former Chiefs left tackle, Orlando Brown. I love it. You can't not love it. And he might be the final piece in completing the offensive line overhaul that the Bengals really started last offseason, turning what was the weakness of the team, into a position of strength, which in 2 off seasons flat, that's amazing. And by the way, I love that he was a Chiefs guy, because you're taking, we're talking about who's the best in the AFC. You're taking a legit piece away from one of your from your main competitor. The deal came out of nowhere. If you knew this was coming, I'm pretty plugged into all the things the Bengals are doing. I hear things. I wasn't worried about some of the what looked and appeared to be like misfires or, oh my gosh, the sky is falling situations to start free agency. I did not see this coming. And in the midst of an offseason, that really did hit the Bengals hard so far as we're looking at this. Not one of the better teams with what's going on. They lost both starting safeties. All-pro Jesse Bates, he goes to the Falcons. Hayden Hurst, former Falcon, he was critical in big spots last year. I could not have talked about Hayden Hurst more. He goes to the Panthers. And then Samaje Perine, their running back, goes to the Broncos. So there's still some work Cincy has to do to figure out some really important replacements. But this is a huge step forward for an organization to go out and say, yeah, we're going to go snag one of the highest paid but top free agents on the market and solidify what is most important, which is protecting one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League in Joe Burrow. It's also significant that they front-loaded the deal, by the way, so that means that by the time Joe Burrow's extension kicks in, Brown's cap hit will be a little bit less. So I know Bengals fans have tweeted me and some people texting me even about like being nervous about what's gone on so far, given the team's history in free agency, given whatever. This is a big statement, and I don't think they're done. Okay, Tuesday, guys, we talked about how slow the wide receiver market has been moving. We'll talk to Calvin Johnson about that, and that continued to be the case outside of Juju Smith-Schuster getting 3 for 33 from New England. Nothing else happened on the it's all quiet on the wide receiver front. Receivers have been waiting things out. Running backs, surprisingly, are flying off the shelf. The value is there. People need them, and the money is there. The right money is there, according to teams, and running backs sort of know what's up. So we've seen major musical chairs around the league here. Miles Sanders, beautiful message to Eagles as he departs for Carolina. David Montgomery going to the Lions, while former Lion Jamal Williams, beautiful goodbye to the Lions, of course, and he goes to New Orleans, which I love. And former top 5 rusher James Robinson, he'll be in New England playing alongside Ramondre Stevenson, the electric running back for them. So I know the money hasn't necessarily been huge like we've seen in some years, the loaded draft class and the way things have been trending for running backs. It is encouraging, though, to see so many vets find deals. It's a good thing. Mark Ingram, sending you the love, sending you the good vibes for everything that's going on. But how about Jamal Williams going to New Orleans? One of our good friends of the show here, one-of-a-kind personality, very introspective, but brings the energy when he needs to. He breaks Barry Sanders' single-season touchdown record in Detroit. I know New Orleans appreciates a guy with a personality. I'm surprised he wasn't on Aaron Rodgers' wish list, to be honest. They're going to love him there. All right, we have got to get out of here. Speaking of Detroit and goodbyes to Detroit, listen, I just opened this gift pack. Let me tell you, and it smells good. It smells very pungent, but Primitive Performance is incredible, and we're going to talk about, we've got rehydration, we've got electrolytes, it's fast acting, and all sorts of things going on, and it's solutions that are plant-based. And who is more adamant about that than our Hall of Fame next guest, Calvin Johnson. Megatron, what about that dunk in the All-Star game? Are you going to the NBA? We got a Detroit superstar on the show next. I'm opening the topical cream.
6'5" Calvin Johnson. We're legendary. Calvin Johnson. Unbelievable. Touchdown. We're legendary. Megatron. Wow. We're legendary.
Oh man, this is one of the best. I can't watch these highlights. Like what? You're a defensive lineman out there. Calvin Johnson, Hall of Famer, one of the best wide receivers in NFL history, 3-time All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler. You look like you could still play if you wanted to go out there today. And named to the Hall of Fame class in Canton for 2021. Megatron, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. Congratulations on all of the success with Primitive Performance. It's about performance. It's about recovery. I've learned more this morning about the phytocannabinoids, and it's plant-based, and I'm talking CBD, CBN, CBC, CBG. You've got flavors. You've got all sorts of things. We're going to get into that because I actually think it's very cool, and it's easy to get sucked into learning about how plants can change your life. You talked about it in your freaking Hall of Fame speech in Canton because it means that much to you. So we're going to get into that, and we'll get into a little football. But first, your performance at the NBA Celebrity All-Star Game was so amazing. I mean, 21 Savage is out there, Janelle Monáe, you've got DK Metcalf. What did this dunk feel like?
It was weak, actually. I didn't have any momentum. I wasn't able to really get up. I got injured at the end of the first half, so I wasn't able to play and get any more action in the second half. But it was fun to be out there with all those celebrities.
So I know that you liked baseball. In high school, you were like a top baseball guy. You could have gone that way and made it happen. Did you ever seriously consider the NBA as an option?
I didn't. The NBA was my weakest sport. I mean, the basketball is my weakest sport. But I love to play, but it's definitely out of the three, it was my weakest sport.
Okay, you had a guy on the court with you out there in Utah named DK Metcalf, who was like a Space Jam monster out there. MVP, 20 points, 10 boards. Yeah. Do you think DK Metcalf could play in the NBA?
the physicality with his physicality for sure. With his hops, I for sure. There's people that are his size or less in the NBA. I don't know if he has a jump shot. It'd be tough to be down there up under the hoop with them 7-footers or whatnot. But no, I think he has the physicality, the athletic ability, really to play multiple sports.
Calvin, and you saw that video, like people thought it was photoshopped of him jumping up to get that ball. The NFL drug tested him right after. What do you think about that?
I would have drug tested him too. You see, like he went up even more after he got to his peak. It was ridiculous.
I love that. Okay, we're going to get into a lot of stuff here. You said recently that your relationship with the Detroit Lions, and you thanked the fans and you loved them in your Hall of Fame speech, which was nice. It's trending up. That's what you said recently, which piqued my ears because I sat next to Nate and I know how much those Lions fans loved you. Where do you stand currently between you and that organization, and are you involved in it at all?
Just it's good just being able to have conversations with them. Really talking to Mike Disner over there and just having some fruitful conversations on a pathway forward. And that's really what it's all about. Just really, just trying to find a win-win situation for both sides and really find a pathway forward so I can get out there in front of the fans, get out there in front of the team, and just represent Detroit the way I should be.
What, you live there. I don't know if everybody knows that. You stay. I mean, it's an important community to you.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've lived my whole adult life here in Detroit. I have a business here in Detroit. So it means a lot. My wife is from Detroit, not actually Detroit, but from Michigan. So, there's a lot of different things. I have a support system in her family up here. So it's great. My mom's from Ohio, so they're not, I have my grandparents not too far away. So I love Detroit through and through. I've seen it grow from, when I came here in 08 to where it is now. People should come see Detroit. It's a different place than what a lot of people think about it. But like I say, the business keeps me close and I have a family here now.
Yeah, the Lions made awesome strides last season, too, which is nice to see. Like, they're good. They're great. They're getting better. They finished strong. They beat the Packers in Lambeau with pride on the line. That Lion pride, that's all it was. It was really, and you could tell that on the field. What do you think of the job? Or not even what do you think? How impressed are you with the job that your former teammate, Dan Campbell, has done in Detroit? And what was he like as a teammate?
He's a soldier, I don't know if all the guys know, man. Dan was out there, starting tight end in the NFL, basically with one arm. He was like RoboCop out there. He had like a cast on his whole arm. It was like my first year playing with him, but he was still starting. He was still productive. That's why he was playing. But that just goes to show you what kind of man he was. He played through pain, and to have an accountable teammate like that, and then for that to translate for him to being a coach. I just hope that the guys that his players now, realize the kind of player that he is. And I think that, if you do, having a player's coach is always great, but having a player's coach that really, not everybody that played in the NFL went to battle, but to see this guy grind it out through pain and it's the utmost respect, that your peers can really have for you when they see you, grind through that. When you don't have to, you can sit out, but he didn't do that. So, kudos to him.
You calling him RoboCop is very funny. It's a good comparison. I think that one should stick. Okay, Aaron Rodgers is leaving the Packers. Is this bigger news for the Jets or for the Lions?
I mean, it's big. It's big news for the Jets. Is that true? Is it happening? Is it going down?
I don't know. Sure. Let's say it is. Sure. I think so.
I mean, that's big news for New York.
What do you think?
That's big news for New York. But Aaron Rodgers, he's such a great player. I think he could be great wherever he goes. New York is a tough town, so it's probably like Super Bowl or bust if he goes there. But if anybody can do it, with the way that they finished the season this year, or the way we saw him play at an elite level, still, I think he still has the tools to be able to make that happen.
I think, listen, I grew up a Bears fan. I think it's big for the Bears. It's bigger news for the Lions, too. And, the Lions were good in those years especially when you were there, against pretty much everybody. It was a good team, but you couldn't get past him. There were some battles when you were in Detroit and Aaron Rodgers. And you said you wanted to play for him. I heard he used to come up to you and say, come play with me.
And whenever he ran off on the sideline, and I was over there standing by the sideline, he was like, yeah, come on over here. Like, the way this contract works.
I love to hear that. Okay, so we thought about the last time that you faced him this morning. We were on our morning production call, and I was like, well, what was the last game that he played against Aaron Rodgers? And I'm sorry we're going to do this, but then we'll make it better with primitive performance to take me to this game. I could not believe the Hail Mary was your last game in Detroit. Talk about it.
Oh, don't do that. Why you do that? Why you do that? Oh, this was the last game I played against him too? Oh, crap. I didn't realize this. Oh, man. So the frustrating part about this, in practices throughout the season, on Friday practices or whatever, when we go through Hail Mary, I'm in the end zone. And I was going out the field. No, I was going out on the field and they pulled me off the field on this play. I would have loved to intercept Aaron Rodgers. I would have did it right there. At least they wouldn't have caught that pass on that play. But they pulled me off the field on that play. I don't know why. And then that's why you see me all animatedly after that game, drop down to the ground just because it was like, wow, like really, we did that. We did it to ourselves.
They pulled you off. It's famous. Look at you. Your reaction barely caught on TV. I didn't know you were. I didn't know. I don't know if anybody. Do people know that you were pulled off the field?
Yeah, I was supposed to go out on that play, and they pulled me off the field for whatever reason, and that happened.
I did not know that, and that's absolutely wild. Okay, I want to ask you this one question before we get to primitive performance here. There's a couple cornerbacks joining you in the Hall of Fame. And, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about you finally getting that knock, loving you opening your door, watching it. You make that incredible speech, and now you have that gold jacket hanging somewhere in your closet. Cornerbacks. I mean, there's not a lot of guys on earth that could say that they covered you okay, well, or felt good about it after going up against you. Who was the toughest corner you went up against?
Just because I went up against him so many times, and I don't understand why we played him like 5-6 straight years, Patrick Peterson. It didn't make no sense. Like, he's not in our division. I mean, they're in the NFC, but they weren't in the NFC North. I guess people just wanted to see the matchup. But that was a tough battle every time. He won some, I won some. And, it was fun to play him because I knew when you see that game on the schedule, it was like, all right, I need to make sure I'm healthy as can be going into this game because we got to give people a show.
I thought you were going to say Darrelle Revis.
Well, no, I was about to go to Darrelle Revis next. I only said Pat because I played Pat so many times. I played with Darrelle probably like 3 or 4 times, and Darrelle, I never really had a lot of success against him, especially when he was young, man. Oh, man, he was a tough battle. I hated the way he played press. He was good with it. And, I think that I can't imagine many receivers can say that they just had success against Darrelle. So kudos to him. We look forward to welcoming him into the Hall. Much deserved.
Yeah, and Patrick Peterson still going. He's just signed with the Steelers.
Oh, see, I haven't even been paying attention to who's being signed where, so that's going to be interesting to see how that goes with the Steelers. I thought, he had some productive time there with the Vikings. I look forward to seeing how he finishes out his career.
You have the NFL record for most receiving yards in a single season, even though you took on the Darrelle Revises and the Patrick Petersons of the world, 1,964 yards. Now, Cooper Kupp, he came within 17 yards back in 2021 of breaking that record, which I know you were sweating out. But that was in 17 games. You did it in 16. Doesn't that piss you off? It pisses me off.
Yeah, I just hope that, they just don't forget that, it happened in 16 games. I hope that whoever does break it, I hope they do it in 16 games, and not in the 17 so that we don't have to put an asterisk on it. But, the way things are going, it's like it might happen like that. But, that's
I'll
really
say it. I'll make sure everybody knows. And then if you had to pick a wide receiver, this smells really good. If you had to pick a wide receiver to break it, who do you think it'll be? Cooper, Justin Jefferson?
Justin, Jamar. I'm trying to think of who these other young guys that are coming up. But, if Cooper and Matthew can get back together and have a year like they did on that Super Bowl run.
Agree.
That's going to be tough to get back to that level. But,
Does Matthew want to play?
I thought he said he wanted to play.
You got to call Matthew. I don't know. But I want to talk about... I don't know what's going on with Matthew. Matthew won a Super Bowl. He almost fell off stage, and that was or like whatever. He was partying. That's all I remember. And Aaron Donald hasn't put his shirt on since. Okay, Primitive Performance. This is a collab. This is not just you, so I do want to give love to Rob Sims because I love, it's you and him deciding that you're so passionate about something. You're not just going to talk about it, you're going to take action. So it's founded by you. You do it there locally in Michigan. It honestly smells great. I've been dealing with a back injury that my production staff knows very well about, so I'm putting this where it hurts. But talk to me about performing, about recovering, where we can get it, and why it's so important to you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you think about it, the quicker you can recover, the more productive you could be, the more available you could be on the field. So with some of these products that we're coming out with Primitive Performance, that's the idea. It's just to focus on recovery and just making ourselves, the athlete, more available. Whether it's just you're the at-home athlete training, or if you're a professional and you need to get back on the field. That's really what inspired these products. So our first two SKUs are ORS, or oral rehydration solution. I think liquid IV, but we're adding cannabinoids to it. Like you mentioned earlier, we're working with 4 different cannabinoids there to affect the inflammation that everybody deals with internally. And then with our transdermal topical, I'm really excited about this one. For the bumps and bruises, we use topicals all the time, going out to pre and post practice. I use them now, whether I'm snowboarding or playing golf, what have you. And I actually use it proactively, so I don't have to deal with the swelling afterwards now. So I found it to work that way. But it's just exciting to be able to have solutions that are plant-based. And it's exciting just to be able to, highlight the healing powers of cannabis. And obviously, these are products that have CBD, CBG, CBN, and CBC in it. So there's no THC in these products. We do have these products with THC versions just for the Michigan market. But yeah, for e-commerce, we are providing these to the masses. So it's exciting to be able. You
could have sent that shit to California. You could have sent. Come on now. What?
We can definitely do licensing deals in legal states with the THC versions. But with the THC version, I like it. I love it so much because I like to add a little bit of THC, whether it's 10 milligrams or 20 before a workout, really to push past that burn. To kind of your body kind of like makes you forget about that burn that you're going through, and I feel like you get a more effective workout.
It's very fast acting. You've been talking for 1 minute. I know you have to jump, but I can already feel it. But here's what I'm going to say to you. My mom watches this show every day, and my mom worked in a factory for about 40 years. Okay, and she worked and she made screws, and her hands are always hurting. And now she's a nanny to my niece. And I'm always like, Mom, let me send you. And I'm not that knowledgeable. I'm like, CBD might work. Like some sort of relieving cream. CBD might take away some of that pain so you can feel better and sleep. But she's like, oh, marijuana. That's where her head is. So what would you say to my mom about your products?
Well, that's the thing, the separation. There's no THC in this. THC is primarily the psychoactive component when it comes to cannabis. And what separates our product from the rest is that it has nanotechnology. And that's just particle size is so small that it can mainly bypass your intestinal system and get right into the bloodstream and go to work and be more bioavailable for the user. So that's what Decisive is about, what we're doing here with Primitive Performance. We're using that nanotechnology to be able to provide more effective products to the end user. So like I say, I use them myself. I'm big on rehydration. And I'm big on, just taking care of those bumps and bruises and whatnot to just, at the end of the day, just create a more effective quality of life for the user.
And if you had it when you were playing, I think it was allowed while you were playing, and you had stuff like this, I think you would have played longer, Calvin.
You never know. I mean, I love that the way the NFL is lighting their stands. NCAA, I mean, across multiple leagues, the stance is being lightened there just because more and more education is coming out. So we look forward to being on that forefront and with educating the public as well.
And it's coming from you. That's the reason those rules are changing, because you're so passionate about it. Hall of Famer, Calvin Johnson, appreciate the time. Sorry we went over a little bit, but we will talk to you down the line, I'm sure. You're amazing. It's literally, this feels amazing. Mom, you could be like Calvin Johnson. Come on.
Find us on primitiveperformance.com. Press primitive without the E on it.
I can't feel my neck. Take a shot on college hoops with an assist from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers, bet the bracket and get 10 times your first bet in bonus bets. That's up to $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. With FanDuel, you can bet on everything from the money line to point spreads to which team scores first. Join today and get up to $200 in bonus bets when you place your first bet. Guaranteed. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Oh boy. I don't even, we don't have Friday shows. We don't have, Pesci or De Niro or Al Pacino or Harvey Keitel or Anna Paquin. We have none of the Irish men, but we have the only Irish man that matters here on the show. One of our faves, the co-host of the PFF NFL podcast, PFF's lead NFL analyst, and a great friend of the show. We have Sam Monson here. Sam, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, we're doing some PFF'd UP. What is that? A new feature. I don't know what's happening. Sam, do we have you? There you go.
Yeah.
What do you make of St. Patrick's Day? Because I've got these sent to me. I've got, am I supposed to celebrate this, or is it just another day and I'm an idiot if I try?
Yeah, those are obviously very traditional. Harking back to the 1600s is where we got the plastic beads from. Look, in Ireland, it's the same as it is everywhere. It's an excuse to drink. It's an excuse to go out there and, drink and everybody be cool with it. Uh-huh. Yeah.
But is everyone wearing green?
Yeah, pretty much. But it's not, it's touristy in Dublin. Like nobody Irish is in the St. Patrick's Day parade. It's all for the tourists.
Yeah, okay, so I can wear this.
Oh, yeah.
Are you okay if I wear this, or is it, okay, good, I'm doing it. Okay, so we don't have a show tomorrow, because whatever. So what we're going to do, and I don't know, are you having a cocktail or something to drink on a Thursday? I don't know, it's asking a lot.
We got the Guinness.
Of course. So Conrad dropped stuff off at my house yesterday, and I don't have a beer opener, so I can't do this. And I'm definitely not doing this unrefrigerated, this Bailey's. So it sounds like, by process of elimination and some scheming by Conrad, Jameson is the drink of choice on the show today.
There we go.
Oh my God. Now, before we get to business, I got CBD, I got Calvin Johnson swag, I'm a commercial here. I am set up. Okay, we need to celebrate. Let's see, free agency. I don't even know what's going on. I'm sorry, Sam. We're just rolling with the punches here. Okay, we're gonna do a PFF'd UP related, draft style, related whatever style. We're gonna get some numbers underway, and we're gonna get PFF'd UP right now. I'll give you a number. So let's play that little intro. Can I see that again? I would like to see that again. Conrad. Oh boy, there we go. This is just for the internet. That's time to get PFF'd UP with Sam Monson. He's drinking a Guinness. I have no choice but to drink warm Jameson. So let's do this. I will give you a number. You tell me what it means. So the number is 88. Is 88 the amount of phone numbers Adam Schefter tried before he got the right Aaron Rodgers?
So the 49ers last year used 8 different defensive tackles along their defensive front. That group combined for 88 total pressures. Javon Hargrave on his own had 66. So they've gone hard for one of the biggest free agents and added him to a defense that was already an absolute monster.
Didn't they get the draft infamous Cleveland Farrell also?
Yeah. They've really made additions to that defensive line, but in particular, the interior is where they were weak, and Hargrave should immediately transform that.
I will say, but just the Cleveland Farrell thing kind of got my ears up with what you're saying, because he's only 25 years old and he didn't work out. And I always love a rewrite. You know that, Sam. I love a second narrative. And with all the talent they added, interior, wherever else, I wonder if playing with better talent brings out another level of him, some potential in him, and makes him a better player. Something to keep your eye on going into the season. All right. The number is 533. Is that the amount of times I've Googled college basketball in the past 3 days before I fill out my bracket?
Got to get that information, the research going. That's the most snaps that Marcus Davenport has ever played in a single season in the NFL. This was a guy, like you're talking about, a first-round pick, a guy that was supposed to be an incredible impact playmaker, and the Vikings have brought him in on a 1-year, $13 million prove-it type of deal to say, okay, show us you can be a better player than you were in New Orleans. Take on a bigger role, get more pressure. He's only ever had 51 pressures in a single season, and show us that you're worth this big payday in a year's time. And if you're not, we can part ways. And if you are, we're at the front of the queue to give that to you.
I love that. The Vikings finished in the back half of the league, just 38 sacks last year. And I don't know if it's the primitive performance that I didn't realize was going to numb my entire face, or it's this on an empty stomach, but I don't feel anything. I
Also
feel
numbing your
nothing
face.
as I'm here. Yes, with the Irishman the day ahead of St. Paddy's Day. The number is 62. That's the next PFF'd UP number. Go get the app, use it, use their mock draft machine. It's an incredible. Go check that out. Is 62 the number of TikToks that Juju Smith-Schuster has already put out since joining the New England Patriots? That was a weak one, Brian.
Take the over on it, though. 62 is the number of pressures that Charles Omenihu had last season for the 49ers. He comes in, he's an upgrade over Frank Clark for the Kansas City Chiefs. I know Clark, had those playoff games where he had really big, important plays and some key sacks for them. But overall, Clark was kind of a disappointment relative to what they thought they were getting when they brought him in.
Yeah.
Charles Omenihu immediately becomes their best edge rusher and a great compliment to Chris Jones.
If you think about it, with replacing Frank Clark, that's hard. But the thing you're talking about, that was, importantly, needs to be said, 3 starts, okay? Replacing Orlando Brown also. They picked up Jags tackle Jawan Taylor to do that, to make light of that. I'm sweating, I can't. Jameson tastes so bad. It tastes like every bad plate of bad decision 3 a.m. nachos, and it tastes like all my bad decisions of my 20s in my mouth right now. Okay, the
That's
number
Paddy's Day.
82.8. Is that the number of time? I don't know. I'll think of one. Go.
That's the passer rating that Emmanuel Mosley has allowed into his coverage for his entire NFL career. I love this move for the Lions. It's a really kind of under the radar type of move, but it means they don't have to shoehorn a cornerback into the first round of the draft. They don't have to reach for value.
Yeah.
They can just draft best player available because they picked up a couple of these veteran guys that can absolutely start games for them this season and be at a solid baseline level at corner.
All right, that's enough with the numbers. I'm told that Marissa's joining us now for a drinking game, which I wish I knew before I started drinking.
I told you that. I gave you a good heads up. And that was on
What's
me.
going on?
I didn't give you a bottle opener when I gave you the Smittix. That's on me. I'm sorry.
It's clever, very clever of you. Well done. Okay, what do we got? What do we got here? We've got categories.
Okay.
You're gonna take over. You're going to say a category, and we have to go back and forth giving answers. And the first person who can't think of an answer or takes longer than 3 seconds, geez Louise, loses and has to take a drink. All right, let's do it.
These are all Irish categories, so they should be kind of easy. Kay, you're going to start first, and we're going to go rapid fire. People with the name Patrick in their name. Go.
Swayze.
You, Sam?
Uh,
You got a
Why
drink.
do I not?
You got a drink. You couldn't think of one Patrick?
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Patrick
That doesn't
Mahomes.
count. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Okay, fine. Next up, Sam, you start with this one. Sports teams that wear green. Go.
the New York Jets,
Okay.
The Packers.
Sam.
the Eagles,
Okay. You got a
The,
drink. You got a
Dolphins.
drink. You
the
got a drink.
Dolphins.
Is the Dolphins not green?
That's,
talk about
that's a
it.
discussion.
We're getting there.
That's a discussion. That's a discussion. All right, Sam, you're gonna start this one. Different forms of potatoes. So that could be like anything with a potato in it. Sam, you start. Go.
Boiled potatoes,
Okay.
That's the most Sam Monson answer I've ever heard. Fried potatoes.
Sam.
potato gratin,
True. Okay.
Mashed potatoes.
Sam.
just roast potatoes. We're just going through all the.
Yeah. Okay.
Purple potatoes.
Did you say purple potatoes?
Yeah, that's a form of potato.
Oh, somebody gave you the buzzer. Okay, last one. Okay, you're gonna start whenever you're ready. It'll be different slang words
Oh my God.
for money. Okay, you start.
Huh?
Different slang words for money. Do not break your tooth.
Oh, money. Gold.
Sam.
Bank,
Okay.
Cash.
Sam.
moolah,
Okay.
Skrilla.
It's just, you gotta just make up sounds.
Come on!
You lost already. You said skula. You lost. You lost.
Actual slang term for money.
Cheddar.
Cheddar. That's true.
Oh, there you go. That is.
Okay, we have
Coin.
one more bonus
Quid.
question. We have one more bonus
God.
question that we kind of alluded to already.
He didn't drink.
I saw him drink.
Oh,
Shout out Guinness. Okay, we have one more question, and this is a hot topic. It's a highly debated topic. Let's show the full screen. Is this green? Yes or no? It's Miami Dolphins color. Is this green? What do you guys think?
poor Mahomes.
No.
You don't think so?
No, it's not green.
Kay, what do you think?
Absolutely green. I'm all for it. I feel bad for Patrick Mahomes in the lower right hand of this. How is that not green? It's aqua green, aqua marine. Marine is green. It's green. What color is that blue? If you had to, if all of the primary colors or colors that we know in a Crayola, if they're all parents adopting, that's in their family. Blue is not saying you belong to me.
It's aqua. It's like in the middle. It's like orange is not red or yellow. It's its own color.
Okay, I have to show you though, if we can show the next one, it actually is called aqua green. It's all the way over on the right-hand corner. There's not even a color swatch for it. It's actually called aqua green. So technically,
it is green. How can
it's green?
Somebody make an argument for blue. Go ahead. Make an argument for that being if it's not green, what is it? All right, we thank you, Marissa, in your Guinness sweater. We thank you that you're wearing green too. Have a good St. Patrick's Day, Skrilla.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Sam.
You too.
Okay, let's get. Oh, I thought we had the tweet, but we don't. But that's fine. It doesn't matter. We got 30 seconds left. Oh, Ken Rudolph, our friend at FanDuel TV, saying right when you said Skrilla, I screamed out, "Yes!" Good pull. I love Ken.
He's always great coming out of our show, and I think we might be on to something. America's new favorite game. Is it green? All season.
Bye. Have a good weekend.